Hello, friends. So good to see you. Welcome to class. Tonight we are doing past lives and tarot. We will spend the next hour exploring ways that we can use tarot to explore the history of our soul. Thank you for being here. My name is Christiana Gaudet. I am your Tarot Fairy Godmother. I am very grateful to the people who are here live with me. Of course, a special shout out to the members and moderators. And Wendy M., thank you so much for being a member for 3 years. And the generous super sticker, I really appreciate that. Thank you. If you happen to be watching the replay, that's great as well. Please drop a comment and like the video. All right, let's start just with a quick conversation about what we're going to try to cover in this class. But before I do that, let me just say I'm laughing at Wendy Robeson. The Wendys are here. Yes, both Wendy Robeson and Wendy M are here, so we can begin. We've got enough Wendys. Dina comes in and says, Cleopatra is here. Yep, there you go. Thank you so much. And Martha, this is beautiful. I have always been fascinated with the idea of past lives. There are definitely people I feel like I've known before, like your mother. Speaking of my mom, Diane, I would love to explore those connections more. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Absolutely. Okay. And everyone, you know who you can thank for this class is Betty Flesher. It was Betty Flesher, and thank you for being here, Betty. Thanks for being a member for more than 3 years and using members-only emojis. It was Betty's suggestion. We're doing 2 other events this month. Our other open to the public class is Tarot and Problem People, which also came from y'all's suggestion. I wasn't going to call it Tarot and Narcissists, but that was the original suggestion. And our members only live stream, the topic was suggested by Smile Soul 20, who said, can we do the topic of like the seasonal blues, the winter blues, and what to do about it? And so we're going to do like changing seasons and the seasons of our lives for our members only. I say all of this because October's coming and I could use some more good ideas. So, and thank you all for those ideas, and thank you for being such a great community that works together so well. It's so good to see all of you here today. Jenny, I see you. Thanks for being here. Carolyn B., thanks for being a member. Thanks for being here. The members only class is like at the very end of the month. You have till the very end of the month. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. All right. Now, past life stuff. So we could spend a long time talking about past life theory, talking about the masters, Edgar Cayce, Brian Weiss, the people who brought us past life theory and reincarnation theory. We could talk about it from the perspective of Buddhism, from the perspective of Hindu. We could talk about it from all those perspectives, from the perspective of Wicca. But in the time we have, I really feel like it's important to keep our focus specifically to the tarot piece. So as we go into this class, Oh, Dina, I love that, Dina. Thank you for that. That is a great idea. Yes, we can do that. Absolutely. Julie Rinaldi, good to see you. Thanks for being here. All right, so let's go into this with some thoughts about reincarnation and past lives. Everybody is going to have different views. I will tell you that I wholeheartedly believe that we live many lives. I wholeheartedly believe this, and I could tell you so many stories to back up why I believe this, but that's what I don't want this to become. I don't want this to become, let's share all our stories about past life stuff, although that would be a fun session too. I want to talk about how we work with past lives and how it's beneficial and how it's not beneficial. And when we talk about working with past lives, there's a lot of ways. There is through meditation. There is through hypnosis. There is therapeutic past life work, where you're working with someone who is very well trained in hypnosis. And the reason you're doing it is because you have some kind of an issue, some kind of a, trauma or anxiety, some kind of a trauma or anxiety that doesn't make sense in this lifetime, and you're trying to heal from it, and past life regression seems to be the way. There is also past life regression where we do it in meditation. We see ourselves, and people who are good at visualization are better at this than those who are not. We see ourselves crossing a bridge or in an elevator or turning the pages of a book or, that kind of a thing to take us there. Now, I used to lead past life regression sessions for groups and individuals with meditation. I stopped doing it when I had a problem bringing someone back. She didn't want to come back. It never happened before, but in this one moment, it happened. And so I've decided not to do that anymore. Kathy, good to see you. Thanks for being a member. Kim Morris, good to see you. Claire C. wants to know, do we choose our parents? Right. Bringing in that whole idea about pre-birth contracts. And pre-birth contracts do come into this past life concept because how much do we choose about our lives? And Michelle F., that sounds kind of wild. Yeah, it was like, no, I don't ever want to be in this position again. I don't want to do this. I felt it was like one of the very first and only times in my career that I felt like I was really out of my depth. Tanya Marie, good to see you. Wow, that must have been a little nerve-wracking. How did you end up bringing her back? Nicely, it was a family group and her daughters were there. And so her daughters worked with me. And we just kind of all sort of sat around her and held her and talked to her and just called her back. Reminded her why she wanted to be in the present. Her past life was just really good. She didn't want to come back to her present life. So we had to really call her back. But if I didn't have her daughters there to bring her back, because I think it was their voices that did it, what would have happened? I don't know. And that's why I'm not doing that anymore. Right. And Julie, you bring up a really good point. I have the Past Life Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue and Brian Weiss. Yes, there are numerous decks. You can also use Nancy Hendrickson's Ancestral Magic deck in the same way. You can, I've got a set of cards called reincarnation cards. So yeah, there are specific divination decks for this. Now, the whole concept, like when we say, when and why is it good to explore our past lives, whether we're doing it through hypnosis, meditation, lucid dreaming, or divination, when is it helpful and when is it not helpful? And, Marion K. Taro, good to see you. Looking forward to your intensive at StaarCon. Thanks for being here. I did a workshop with David Wells and it was incredible, right? Free Shadow, good to see you. Thanks for being a member. I know nothing about this topic. Really fascinating, right? So, when is it helpful for us to do this exploration? I think there are times when we just have behaviors or trauma or issues, like I was talking about before, that we don't have any reason for in this lifetime, and sometimes going to see our soul's history can help us solve those issues in this lifetime. I think sometimes, as Martha suggested, we feel a connection with a person, and sometimes that past life understanding helps us understand that connection. Oh, wow, Julie, this is interesting. I found when I did massage, I would see past lives when you unwind the cells. I found that the cells are like recorders in the body and hold memories. Interesting. So, yeah, Wendy, it helps to find what could be in the shadows. Now, and then that brings us to the conversation of like, do we choose our parents? And that's a construct. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. I've talked to some people who find that very healing to believe. People with very difficult parents who can understand how their soul benefited from this, even though the rest of their lives did not. And it was very helpful for them to believe this. I've also met people who find that a bunch of gaslighting BS. These people suck and you're telling me I chose them? Yeah, no, F off and die. And so I don't think that we know for sure how much we choose and how much we don't. And so the thing I would say there is, does believing that take you to a place of healing, or does it take you to a place of re-traumatization? And that's where, that's where I'm at, right? And then there's the thing with past lives where I feel like I have seen so many people who have real work to do in this lifetime who are so focused on their past lives. And to me, that just feels like a great way of spiritual bypassing. I don't want to blame my issues in this lifetime on past life stuff unless I know I've worked through my issues in this lifetime. So those are some of my thoughts and concerns. So let's see a few other comments here. Liz, discovering my belief in past lives gave me such freedom. Could you say more about that, if you would? What does that mean? What kind of freedom? Justine, great to see you. Dina Moskowitz, thanks for being a member. We really appreciate you. I remember a teacher that had a pain, and when regressed, she saw that it was an arrow wound from a past life. There's a lot of stories like that, for sure. Justine, thank you so much for being a moderator. We really appreciate you. I've always been intrigued and curious about past life regression, but it seems intense. I tried a while back, and it was pretty intense from what the reader told me about one of my past lives. So did you do a regression where you were able to actually experience it? Because that's the thing, a reader can tell you whatever, but what did you experience? Justine, I've heard some really crazy, interesting experiences on past life regression. Can't remember where it was, but someone was talking about how they regressed to a past life in which they were home, but not on planet Earth. Yeah, that can happen. That can happen. They saw their true selves as a humongous being that was all purple. They saw another being that looked like them, and it felt like there was their love, their partner. So, hey, Caroline McLaughlin, good to see you. Thanks for being a member for more than a year. Justine, it was a meditation thing on both ends, but I've always struggled with meditation visualization, so I didn't experience it myself. Yeah, that's the thing. The visualization stuff is much better for people who visualize well. And from what she told me, I was glad. Okay, good enough. Now, Betty. And Betty, thanks for suggesting this topic. Thanks for being a member for 3 years. We appreciate you. I have a wrist thing. Can't touch them and no one else can either. I freak out. I wonder if it's past life related. See, those are the things where I would really like to do past life divination. Those are exactly the things. That's what we're going to work with today. Gemini Sun, thanks for being a member. Thanks for being a moderator. We appreciate you. Have you heard the stories parents tell where their young children remember their past lives? Oh, I was one of those children. I told my mother elaborate stories. I pointed out things, she saved it all, everything I ever told her, and gave it to me when I was an adult. So yeah, I am one of those people. Absolutely, yes. Celeste Taylor, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. I've given many past life hypnotherapy sessions to people, And they all saw a past life and understood how it relates to their experiences in their current life. Yes. And that's the thing. And Celeste is qualified to do that. And I think there is a real reason, especially if you're struggling with something and you don't have good answers. There's a real reason to work with Celeste or someone like Celeste to do that. I think there absolutely is. Sarah Foreign, I have chronic pain and have always felt conflicted about past lives. Would I find peace or not want to come back? So is that about past lives or future lives? That sounds like you're conflicted about future lives. Florida Water, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Okay, so I asked Liz to say more about how believing in past lives gave her a sense of freedom. And she did, so thank you. Religious upbringing taught me that we only get one life, so there was a lot of fear about not messing up. You can't mess it up. You can't mess it up. Casey and Weiss opened my mind and heart that allowed me to decide for myself. Once that door was open, I could connect to other lives and make sense of why I'm here. Oh my gosh. And isn't that a thing? Like, we all want that sense of purpose. And so many people who do what I do make a lot of money in really scammy ways to help you discover your divine purpose, which really just pisses me off. But I think there really is truth in finding purpose. So finding the reason for our suffering, finding the reason for certain physicality things, finding reasons for behavior, reasons for connections with other people. There's a lot of reasons to do this. Okay. Justine, how neat. Apparently I walked on my tippy toes everywhere I went for years. That's a spectrum-y sign too, though. Just saying. So my mother always said I was a ballerina in a past life. But me being graceful in any capacity, that's probably more something about this life, honestly. That's a sign of some neurological stuff, honestly. Wendy, do you think a love from a past life can be found in current life? Yes. And in fact, in Wicca, a traditional Wiccan wedding ceremony, you have the option, hand fasting. You have the option, and this is funny, Marion says, Wendy, I do think you can, and I'm the least romantic person, absolutely. You have the option to promise to love each other until death and into the next life where we will meet, remember, and love again. And so you can actually pledge yourself to your partner for the next lifetime. I think, though, a lot of times with past lives and relationships, like romantic relationships, and other people who are readers, confirm what, raise your hands, man, I think you're going to agree. A lot of times when we see a past life connection in a love relationship, 9 times out of 10, it's in the reading of, oh my gosh, there's this really intense connection and it is never, ever, ever going to work out. And the past life connection is a hindrance because it's why we want each other. Our souls recognize each other, but in this lifetime, there's no way. So I see that. Betty, that sounds a lot like soulmates. Yeah, I think that soulmate twin flame feeling that people capitalize on so much, I think very much and very often is a past life thing. And very often it means we should not be together in this lifetime, although once in a while I'll see a couple where I'm like, oh man, y'all are together pretty much always. Lifetime to lifetime, pretty much always. Marion, call me out, why don't you? Yeah, Wendy, I'm not a twin flame fan. Right? Same. Wendy M., I had a former friend who did past life regression hypnosis, and in the 3 lives I went back to, the theme was that I was childless, alone, and now I have a child and am not alone. Cool. Unicorn and Rainbows, I love your name. I think hand fasting is beautiful. Even though I'm not exactly Wiccan myself, even though I think a lot of things about it are really beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. Justine, don't you think you're a little ADHD? I mean, it's not always learning disabilities. It can be hyperintelligence too. But yeah, I mean, there's a few things there, but I mean, you got some stuff going on there that you know about. Right, and Wendy, hand fasting doesn't have to be Wiccan. That's right. Peggy Lou, past life connections can be more love lessons and also deep spiritual connections with friendship, sure. And also people you should never, ever, ever see again in this lifetime. Could be anything. Could be anything. Okay. Hey, Jill Watson, good to see you. 3 mediums told me I had a past life in Paris. I went there and knew a street. Oh, yeah. That sense of familiarity, that sense of deja vu. And someone I dated said out of the blue, I want to take you to Paris. He had no clue why I said that. Yeah. So there are things, and Jill brings up a hugely important point here, is that as we go about our daily lives, sometimes there are things that just come up that are evidence or make us think about past life stuff. And that's when we really like to go to divination and play with the cards. Virginia W., so good to see you. Thanks for being here. I just saw Virginia W. got her StaarCon ticket. Yay. Thanks for being a member. I've met my husband and daughter in past life regressions, but we're not in the same roles. Jill, another friend and I thought we had past life connections. We compared family photos going back generations. They all look related. Okay, so yeah, a lot of good comments here. A lot of good comments. All right, let's get on over to CardCam. There we go. I am working with the Smith-Waite Centennial Edition. Right, this is where we're going, right? Hey, Sarah, I've been thinking about you so much. Oh my gosh. I have something to send you. I am so glad to see you. You have been so much on my mind. Thanks for being a member for like 3 years. On your way to getting married. We're so excited. Sarah, I know death is associated with death rebirth, the card death, hence multiple lives, but I feel judgment fits better. Echoing Liz's point, we get multiple chances, but it doesn't mean you have infinite passes. This life affects the next one, for sure. Yes, we have missed you, Sarah. I figured you were busy with wedding planning. I hope it was nothing more serious than that. Okay, so unicorns and rainbows. I mean, I don't hate the concept of twin flames. I just don't care so much for labels. Yeah, I think what we're saying here is there are people in my industry that use the concept of twin flames to make a lot of money and keep people trapped in toxic relationships, right? And I saw something else about toxic. Oh, Celeste, toxic relationships repeat until we learn to forgive and let go with love. Do you think that's true? Like with the two souls, like, do you feel like they're gonna be toxic lifetime to lifetime until they learn something? Or do you think sometimes, because I think sometimes that toxicity has nothing to do with the two souls. I think that toxicity very often, maybe not always, is an accident of birth in this moment. You're born into a situation where your brain is wired and now you're a narcissist. Your soul can't do anything about that. That's the body, right? That's a physicality. So I think there are times the toxicity has nothing to do with the souls. We just have to wait till the next lifetime to be able to deal with each other again. Oh, Sarah, yes, all good here. Just crazy work schedule and struggling to make it to the 7 p.m. classes. I understand. Thank you for doing it. So good to see you. Okay, so the question, what cards? Oh, Sarah Foreign. We've got 2 Sarahs, 2 Wendy's. When past, present, and future seem to coincide. Yes, yes. Well, yeah, those patterns, man, the patterns, it's always good to identify patterns. And sometimes the patterns are lifetime to lifetime, right? Yeah, unicorn and rainbows, exactly why I don't care for labels. They can sometimes be overused, misused, abused, and lead to negative stereotypes. I agree 100%. Okay, so we're talking about cards that can speak to past lives. And the two that I would go to right away, Six of Cups mentioned by Marion, Death and Judgment mentioned by Sarah, maybe other people too. And I think was that, who was it? I saw it. I don't know who it was. I think it might have been Dina, saying death and aces, like death and rebirth. Justine, the star, sometimes I wonder if I'm from another planet myself. You could be starseed. You absolutely could be. Right? Yes, Julie, breaking generational patterns. And that's the interesting thing between generations that are biological and generations that are reincarnation. There can be a lot of overlap, people seem to believe. Oh, Claire C., you know you win my heart when you quote T.S. Eliot. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the thing is, past lives can show up in the cards unbidden. So, for example, you see the Six of Cups, but it's clearly not about the past in this person's memory. We're looking at past life stuff. Same thing with Judgment. That can happen. And yes, Betty, Wheel of Fortune, Justice. Yes, 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 yes. Celeste, not necessarily, we're talking about the relationships. It also depends what relationship you have with each other and the roles that you play too, right? For example, one may have a more dominant role in one life, but passive in the next. Absolutely, yes. I've always wondered, Shannon Lee, I've always wondered what I was in a past life. So this is where, Sarah Foreign, how do we know if the patterns we see are meant for us, though? I didn't notice a lot of recurring signs except for the time 1111 or 111. I think we're looking for patterns like being fearful, we're looking for patterns of behavior. Not necessarily patterns of symbol, but patterns of behavior. Like, what are the behaviors you have in this lifetime that there's no explanation for? What are the desires, the familiarities, the affinities that you have in this lifetime that there's no explanation for? That's where we look to find patterns. I feel like the seeing of multiple numbers, the things they call angel numbers, if you find power there, that's great. But, I can tell you that we didn't start seeing those angel numbers until we all had digital clocks. I'm just saying. Oh, Betty, how about the Fool being 0, coming back for a new life? Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yes. And so you could be giving a reading or for yourself or someone else at any time and get the sense that we're dealing with a past life. And then you have to know, if you're reading for someone else, you have to know if your client is even open to that conversation. Because they may not believe in it. That may offend them. But if they're open to that conversation, that's where you can go there. Justine, right. Repetitive things can be a synchronicity or not. If I see a seagull every time I go to the beach, it is not a freaking synchronicity. They live there. So it really depends, right? If I see a lizard on my walk to work, it is not a synchronicity. I'm going to see 10 of them. It would be weird if I didn't see one. So it really depends on the situation. That's the thing. And I think we have to have that logical, nuanced thinking, or we're just going to be running off like thinking that every single thing is a sign, and then we can't do anything, right? We just drive ourselves crazy. So, Have I ever had a reading where past life was so apparent that it screamed at me from the cards? I have not. I have not. Sarah's laughing at the lizards. Right, Marion, but if you see a lizard in Scotland, that's a serious one. You know, or like, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I had a thing where I saw a green lizard a lot, and they're kind of unusual down here. So that was kind of interesting. So yeah, it depends. It depends. So how do we effectively do past life readings? I'm going to argue the same way we do any other readings, and I'm going to prove it to you. Many of you have asked past life questions here, some of you not realizing that you had. I want to do those readings. And so I will try to scroll back and see the questions. Like, I know about Martha wondering about her connection to Diane, my mom. I remember about Betty's wrists. I don't remember all of them, though. So if you have just, something, and I'd prefer not to do the, what was I in a past life, but I will if I have to, because I want to show you how to do it, so okay. But whatever question you have or curiosity about your own soul's history, go ahead and get those questions in. Dina, Teresa Reed has a karma spread, I think, that relates to past lives. And Julie just did a past life reading for herself. Very good. Very good. Unicorn and rainbows. I mean, I don't think signs drive me crazy. I find them cute or even comforting. Well, the thing is, it's when, I'm going to give you an example, okay? This is a heavy example, but this is what I'm talking about. Because people will take their signs and morph them to believe whatever they want. I had a client who was in an obviously abusive relationship, and she knew it was an abusive relationship. But she really wanted that relationship to work because she was caught in that emotional thing that we're talking about. So she's cleaning her house one day and she finds a penny on the floor, and it is tails up, I guess. So you can just see it says 1. It's a 1. And the penny also says on it liberty, because this is the United States and we use that word a lot, although we don't give our people a lot of it. We use the word. And the guy's name was somehow associated with liberty. And so she took finding this penny saying liberty is the one. Therefore, the one that she should stay with. And that caused her to stay in this very abusive relationship for longer. That's the thing I'm talking about that people do, that we need to not do. That's the thing. Okay. Good. I am seeing the questions. Okay. And thank you. Those are all really smart questions. I'm scrolling back. Actually, let me scroll back. Where am I going to scroll back? I'm going to scroll back over here. I'm going to scroll back and try to pick him up as I go along. And I see him here, so let's get to him. Very good. Celeste Taylor, self-delusion takes many forms, and it terrifies me that we and the processes we teach sometimes helps to perpetuate that. And some of us care so little about it that we actively perpetuate it for our own profit. And it terrifies me. Yes, unicorn and rainbows. Oh, wow, yeah, I think it's good to balance logic with emotions and spiritual stuff. Exactly. Oh, Claire, does our dying moment make us fearful of certain things in this lifetime? How can we resolve the anxiety that results from being killed? That's so interesting because, I do a lot of readings for those who have passed on, or about those who have passed on for those who are living. And when I check in on what people experience at the moment of dying, it's usually not bad at all. Not bad at all. It's really, from what I can see over and over again, nothing to fear. Celeste, true, it's a sad fact. Yeah, it is. It is. That's why I try to be a really loud voice in this way. Okay, Martha Vink. To explore the connection between Martha and Diane. Did Martha and Diane share past lives together? And my mother was such a believer in Edgar Cayce. Oh my gosh. Did Martha and Diane share past lives? I would take the Three of Wands to say yes. That is a very clear yes for me. Can I explain why it's a clear yes? Not really, but does anyone want to argue? Yes, there are past lives. What can we know about past lives between Martha and Diane? Five of Pentacles reversed, there were many. What else can we know? They may not have always been the same gender. What kind of relationships have they had? They have helped each other out of difficult times. Martha, I think you and my mom may have had many different kinds of relationships, romantic, parent-child, and also just being there for each other and having each other's backs. That's what I think. All right. Hey, Lumen, good to see you. I love it that Dina came in and said, Cleopatra is here. You know, in doing group meditation, it's always funny because there'll always be people who come back from that perspective, right? I'm Cleopatra, like how many people could have been Cleopatra? Anna Kay, good to see you. Okay. So now, scrolling down, scrolling down, scrolling down. Okay. I am just going back here and I'm going to Betty's wrists. Yes, Lumen, asking about past lives, exactly. Betty's wrists. What's up with Betty's wrists? That's how I'm going to say it. And like, this is how I do it, like just like I do any other reading. What's up with Betty's wrists? Oh man, definitely something in a past life. And I'm looking at this image. See how we're holding something in each hand? Since I was asking about wrists, that's significant to me. I'm going to say you had a medical issue when you were very, very young, maybe even at birth, having to do with your wrists in some past life. That's what I think. All right. Right, Julie, maybe in utero. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Lumen. Okay. And Shannon Lee, I've always wondered what I was in a past life. Now, I think most of us believe that many things. At least one life of being very poor, maybe a few lives. You know, poverty may have been an issue in past lives. One life of being a healer, one life of being a politician or a leader. And this feels very intuitive when you do it. Obviously, it's not terribly verifiable unless it resonates as truth, but there it is. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Scrolling down, looking for the questions. Let me go back to where they start here. Okay, Trey Cameron, thanks for being a member for more than a year. Anything about my past lives, a theme, I love that. A theme from past lives that may also be true or enlightening in this life. There's the question. Yeah, a feeling of not being safe and stable. I feel like whether there were real physical things that threatened your safety or emotional things that threatened your safety. I think it's hard for you to just relax and feel okay, partially because of past life things. I wonder, like the next thing I would do, like if I was really sitting with someone and doing a session, then it would be like, what can we know? What can we heal from? We might make up a whole spread. Like, how can you heal from this? How can you know that you are safe? How can you allow yourself to be safe? How can you release that pain from that past life? Trey, I've always been very serious, right? Right. And so you can you can ask all of these questions and do this work. You can sit with someone for an hour asking these questions and doing this work. And Trey, the reason that you are too serious and can't chill out is because you don't feel safe. And the way to feel safe is, like, we can't change what happened in the past, but you really have to do, I believe, some heavy root chakra work to feel safer in this lifetime. Yes, Martha, I saw that different question. I'm going to do it. Yes. Okay. So, oh my gosh, going back to the signs, Wendy, I have a client who thinks everything is a sign. He asked me what it means when your left ear is ringing. I said that he should be checked for tinnitus. Yeah, seriously. Okay. Wendy Robeson. What lesson do I have to learn from a past life? To trust yourself. I think, and it happened in this life too, but I think lifetime to lifetime, you have things that sort of take you away from trusting yourself. You have to learn to trust yourself. Okay. Dino friends, good to see you. Is Ava from Birmingham in one of my past lives? There's that Six of Cups, which would say yes, but it's reversed. But I would still sort of make it say yes. I think so. Oh, that was a client that Wendy M had. And, obviously. Right, but again, if you have ringing in your ear, you should see an audiologist. Seriously. Because that's usually a physicality thing. So the question though, Dino friends, the next question, that's the thing. Okay, I'll get to you, Peggy Lou. Thank you. Oh, interesting. And her name in meditation, just random. That's interesting. I love that. Okay. So, Peggy Lou, can you just go ahead and reiterate your question for me, and I'll grab it. I'll get you in. Oh no, I see it. You're coming up right next after Dino Friends. I didn't skip you. You're right here. Yep, I see her, and there she is. What is my soul's history for this life that I need to heal? Got it. Julie, it could be, but I would totally want to check with a doctor first. Seriously. I have a friend. In fact, I can share this story fully because a lot of you know her. My good friend Marcy Courier, I gave her first gig. Very psychic. And she was having these experiences that she felt were spiritual experiences. It was a brain tumor. She waited a couple of years before going to a doctor because she spiritualized her physicality. Don't spiritualize your physicality. Go to a doctor. And then, if the doctor can't find anything, then, and only then, do you want to think about the psychic aspect. Seriously. Seriously. Yeah. Okay, so, Peggy Lou, what do you need to heal that is in your soul's history in this lifetime? The idea and the circumstances where you end up surrounded with people who are not terribly helpful to you. Being able to find helpful people and to be with people who lift you up rather than tear you down. That's the thing. Okay. And then there's always that next question, and how do you do that? You know, that's where you're going to want to go with your own cards, in your own exploration. How do you do that? Marion K. Tarot. And if y'all aren't subscribed to Marion K. Tarot, please do that. What is it about my fear and extreme dislike of my hand or wrists or having anything on them like watches, etc.? Interesting. Betty has a wrist issue too. Marion. Marion, for you, look how these wrists are tied up. Do you see that? And this is how I do it. I'm very, very visual. Do you see that? I think you were bound. I really do. I think you were bound. And perhaps, you know, in some legal situation or illegal legal situation, I think your death began with being bound. I really do believe that. I think that's what happened. Okay, Christina, thanks for being a member for 2 years. Thanks for using members only emojis. What do I need to heal from a past life? Beautiful. It's about family stuff and relationship stuff. So it could be around love life, it could be around parents, it could be around kids, or both. So that our close relationships, that's really it. You have a really big heart and you're a very, very loving person. I think you always have been, and I think you often have ended up in family situations and relationship situations with people who don't have the same capacity to love. And I think that's been hurtful. So finding people around you who have the same heart capacity that you do. Oh, Marion, I've kind of thought of that myself. It's nice to get confirmation. There you go. All right. Baby cakes, I've always wondered, what was I in a past life? And is something impacting me in this current life? So this is how I will word that question. Is there anything from a past life that is impacting baby cakes in this life that we need to see right now? And the answer is, it has to do with hurts having to do with other people, not necessarily close people, friends and lovers, more like friends, co-workers, employers, things of that nature, which is why jobs and finding jobs can be such a trauma for you, because you have had friend betrayal in the past. So it might be good to like burn a candle and release all the energy of past life stuff as you look for your new job. What is something I need to know about a past life of mine? That's Gemini Sun. Thanks for being a member for more than a year and a moderator. You have always been a creative person and it's always frustrated you. That's why it's so big in this lifetime that you want to create something great. And it's hard to get it all together. That's why you have so much frustration about it, because it's been lifetimes. So be patient with yourself. You'll get it in this lifetime. Sarah, thanks for being a member for 3 years. We appreciate you. What am I doing well in this life that is healing past life, Sarah? Stuff with family, home, and marriage. Honestly, working things out the way you have done so that you can really step into this marriage appropriately is all of that. And why did that need to be healed in the first place? So you could have a happy marriage. Okay. Oh, and registering Wendy Robeson, Death and Tarot, or Samhain and Tarot for October. Yeah, I agree. Tanya Marie, so good to see you. Can you ask if my most recent ex was a soul connection? It sure felt like it. Okay. Most recent ex, and this is Tanya Marie. I don't know. Yeah, there's that judgment card. Yeah. I'm going to say yeah, but no way it can work out in this lifetime. No way in this lifetime. No. Martha Vink, thanks for being a member. Did I choose to be a hoarder in this life? Why and how do I change that? Tanya Marie, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be mean. I'm sorry. Oh, I missed Claire C. Thank you. I'll come back for Claire. Oh, no, I already answered that question from Claire, I think. Claire, did you have a past life question? I did talk about the dying moment. I did talk about that. Do you have a question, Claire, for your own past life that I'm not seeing? Go ahead and get it in. Okay, Martha. Yeah, no. Better to check me than wreck me. Thank you. Martha, did I choose to be a hoarder in this life? You are not a hoarder in this life. What you are is insecure, and so it's hard to figure out. Yeah, no, Tanya Marie, you were right to walk away, for sure. Martha, you're not a hoarder. It is a past life thing, but it's about not trusting yourself to know what you need and what you don't need, what you can keep and what you can't keep, what you want to do and what you don't want to do. You second guess, you triple guess, you quadruple guess, you septa guess, you octa guess, and so you don't know what to do, so you stay paralyzed and the stuff piles up. It is from the past life, but it's about trusting yourself. Yeah. Okay. There it is. Claire, I did see it. Thank you. Claire C., thank you so much for being a member for 3 years. Did I hide in a cave on this particular island? Is it Saipan? Is that how we say it? During World War II. I taught there in this life. And you felt like you might have hid in a cave there during World War II. True or false? Well, it didn't kill you. I think, yeah, we've got a battle. We've got avoiding something. Yeah, I think so. And isn't it funny how places will show up when it comes to past life stuff? I think so. Oh, Sarah, love that. Can't wait to share with Paul about all the past life healing is doing and how it will benefit him. Seriously. So yeah, Claire, I think so. I think that's very real. And yeah, the universe will just naturally bring us back to some of our places, I think. Okay. And sorry I missed you, Claire. Thank you. Oh, Dina, you definitely make past lives come to life in tarot. Yes. Yeah, and it's just like reading for any other, right? And any other thing, really. Okay. Carolyn B. Hang on a minute. Carolyn B. What in my past life is affecting me in this life? Not that much. Except for, I feel like you are in some sort of a fire or a tragedy or something, and it's given you a particular panic or anxiety. Other than that, not much that I can see. Tanya Ali, who was I in a past life? Well, there would have been many past lives, but I can tell you that in at least one past life you were a twin, and in another you may have been an artist. Julie, you make past lives look easy now, right? Just play, just do it, just do it, just do it. Anna K, what blessings from past lives can I use? You have always been good at solving problems, and thus you continue to be. You're a creative problem solver. Lumen, thanks for being a member. For you, I think you have always been creative, curious, and smart. And your mother has always cared a great deal about interpersonal relationships, but often has a hard time in communication when relationships get weird. Oh, Dina Moskowitz, how do the elements connect to past lives? In my mind, only in telling you a trade, like a trait or a characteristic, is how I see it. Oh, Anna Kay, thank you. Sarah Foreign, did I skip you? Let me, just in case, what lesson do I need to learn from my past life, Sarah? When to control something and when to let it go. And that does affect you because sometimes you want to over-control things. Okay. Okay. Kim Morse, who in this life was I with in a past life? Most of your family, especially kids and grandkids. Oh, Nick, I'm in crisis at the moment. I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh my gosh, Ness, thanks for being a member for more than 2 years. In my birth chart, do I have medium ability points? How can I develop that and learn from my past lives? Oh my gosh, just do it. You have so much. Just do it. It's right there for you. It's right there for you. And look at what's happening in Aquarius in your chart. Febborn, I have a fear of cats. However, I seem to attract them. Is that related to past life stuff? Yeah, I think it is. And I think it goes back to something that happened in a past life. And I know this is going to sound so the way it's going to sound, but in Egypt. I believe in Egypt. Okay. And Julie wanted to know, what did Brant have in his past life? A very good brain, a lot of good ideas and a lot of good opportunities. And a lot, like, he's a smart dude, and he was a very, very, very smart dude. He needs to trust his intelligence in this life. Oh, and Lumen, what was left unfinished that you may be able to accomplish in this lifetime? Oh, Marion, look at you with your astro knowledge. Yeah, well, I get some help. Lumen, in past lives, you did not honor all of your skills. In this lifetime, you're trying to honor all of your skills and talents. There it is. Virginia W, is anything from my past lives manifesting now? I think think there's some stuff with one of your daughters. I think that could also be past life related. Actually, the daughter where there's trouble, that could be past life related. Oh, interesting, Julie. So there's a thing there. Juanita, theme of past lives, still dreaming about them. You know, I think you've had past lives where you've had very great connections with people, and then other past lives where you haven't. And I think that's the balance you're trying to find in this life, is how to have the right connections with the right people. Wendy M., I'm curious to know if my half-sister and I knew each other in a past life, because I feel so much more connected to her than to the two other full-blood sisters I grew up with. Unclear. Maybe yes, maybe no. I can't confirm it. Use a pendulum to try to confirm it. I can't confirm it. Unclear. Okay. Caroline McLaughlin, thanks for being a member for more than a year. Thanks for using members only emojis. May I ask if my husband was with me in a past life? I'm going to say yes, but not as your husband. Okay, and Justine, I don't know what your question was, but I know what I want to ask. Are you starseed? Is it possible you have past lives on other planets? Seriously. And the answer is yes. Look into starseed, Justine. That could explain a lot. Okay. Liz Harrison, is there a past life I haven't yet connected with that would be beneficial for me right now? No, I think you need right now to just experience feeling happy and safe and loved in this life. Medium that rocks, thanks for being a member for more than a year. I've been attracted to many pantheons, but have I lived in any of those which could best help me in this life? Yeah, Glastonbury. Glastonbury, so like Celtic. What kind of past lives did I have with my father? That's Dina Moskowitz. Contentious. One romantic, some contentious, one where you might have been business partners. So all different kinds of things. And Unicorn and Rainbows, is there anything from my past lives that are negatively affecting my connections with or other people in this life? Not at this moment that I can see, my friend. No, in fact, much the opposite as far as I can see. Okay. Oh, here's Justine's question. Do the cards offer any insight related to lessons learned in a past life that I might use? And the answer is yeah. There was one past life where you learned just how to work really hard and do what you need to do without thinking about it too much. That could be helpful. Oh, medium that rocks. I was going to ask Glastonbury. There it is. There it is. So we are coming to the end of our time. One quick question from Sarah Foreign. I was supposed to be a twin in this lifetime, but they died before birth. Any messages about how this affects my life? Yeah, you miss them. There's a part of you that will always miss them. There it is. All right. And Wendy says, love this. Now I think I understand how to read the cards about past lives. Nick, I'm sorry. I'm a random person crashing your live feed. I just found out my cat Rufus, my familiar, love of my life, has a tumor on his intestines and I can't handle it. Hang on. I got you, Nick. Hang on. I'm coming back. Give me a minute. Nick. Okay. Rufus. You and Rufus have a great relationship, and that's a fact. But you can handle this because this is part of what you have to do for Rufus, right? This is your job. So So Rufus has done a job for you and has done it well. Now you have to do your job for Rufus. And I know it's hard and I know it's sad, but that's what you got to do. So take that. Like, take it as an honor that this is your duty. Good luck. All right, my friends, thank you so much. It's great to see you. I'll be back tomorrow at noon. The link is already up with your Friday weekly wrap-up. I will look forward to seeing you then. Thank you all so much. Thanks to the people helping out with super chats and super stickers. If I missed anyone, I'm so sorry, but you all see it. This was really not so much about getting readings, but seeing how to do this. So now y'all go do it and let me know how it goes for you. Have a great night.